So here's a video explaining lesson 52, which is the introduction to radian measure. Now, here's some things that we understand about the unit circle so far. That 0 degrees is over here, 0 degrees. Every quadrant is 90, so this is 90. 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees. So that's one full circle from 0 to 360, one full circle. Now, degrees are only one way of measuring an angle. And the measurement system that we tend to use more in Algebra 2 is something called radians. Now, what is a radian? A radian is defined based on the radius of the circle. So the radius is this length from the center to the outside edge. That's a radius. If I took that same distance and I bent it around the outside edge of the circle, it would look like this. Now the angle that this creates we call 1 radian. So that little slice of pie is a measurement of 1 radian, 1 rad. Now, there are 1, 2, I'm drawing these all approximately, 3, and some change, right? So this is like some little leftovers here. This is our change. So there are 3 radians in the top, plus a little bit left over. Well, that little bit that's left over changes it from 1 to 3 radians to 1 to 3.14159265, etc. This is pi. So there are pi radians in 1/2 of the circle. So this gives us an equivalence that 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. And technically that means that 360 degrees is equal to 2 times that, which is 2 pi radians. Now we don't really use that equivalence as often. We use 180 and pi. So, summary, 180 degrees is equal to pi radians, meaning about 3.14 radians. Now in order to convert something, you may remember from middle school, unit conversions changing from like inches to miles. You get to use these conversion factors that are technically equal to 1. In order to change what something looks like without changing its value, we can multiply by 1. 1 can look like a lot of things though. So the thing that we're going to do is we're going to use these two. We're going to use 180 degrees over pi radians. Now the top is equal to the bottom, and if we divide something by something that's equal, we get that this is equal to 1. That's why we're allowed to do this. The other option is pi radians over 180 degrees. Now what we do with these is we multiply by them. And the only thing that we have to ask ourselves is which one do we want to choose? Do we want to choose this one, or do we want to choose this one? Well, when I look at a question like number 4, I know that I'm converting from radians to degrees. Degrees is my goal. Now, do degrees have pi's in them? I think we can confidently say that degree measurements look like, 45 degrees, 170 degrees, 560 degrees. I don't remember seeing any pi's in degree measurements. So that's my tip-off that I'm going to want to cross out that pi. In order to cross it out, there's going to need to be a pi on the bottom. So pi rad, and 180 degrees is going to go on top. Now the pi and the pi can cancel out because one is on top and one is on bottom. What I get is I get negative 22 times 180 over 9. I'll use my calculator to figure that one out. And I've already done so. Negative 22 times 180 divided by 9 is equal to negative 440 degrees. Okay. We'll do one more. Question number 5. The pi is still on top, so I'm going to still want to multiply by a fraction that has a pi on the bottom. So it's going to be pi radians. And on top, I'm going to put 180 degrees. The pi cancels out with the pi because one's on top and one's on bottom. And I get 15 times 180 divided by 4. Go to my calculator. 15 times 180 divided by 4, and that's equal to 675 degrees. Now, you may be used to simplifying angles like that, but we don't actually have to simplify that angle because the question only told us to convert. It didn't tell us that we had to use it for anything. We don't need to find special triangles. We don't need to find sine or cosine of it. So it doesn't matter that this angle measure is not perfect yet, that we haven't fixed it, because we don't need to do anything else with it anyway. And for this lesson, that's all you had to do. That was converting from radians to degrees. Good luck, and I'll see you in class.